INEC chairman says attacks on facilities must stop ahead of 2023 elections. Gunmen kill Imo Labour Party House of Assembly candidate. Arewa Consultative Forum faults CBN withdrawal limit, says North is most reliant and cash. And on the foreign scene, at least 169 people dead after devastating floods in DR Congo's Kinshasa. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Hello and welcome once again. The chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, says most attacks carried out on the Commission's facilities across the country have nothing to do with the 2023 elections. Professor Yakubu made the remark in an investigative hearing organized by the House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee set up to investigate the attacks on offices and facilities of INEC across the country. According to the INEC boss, most of the attacks occurred because the facilities are soft targets located in remote areas that are difficult to secure by the nation's overstretched security agencies. Professor Yakubu urged the National Assembly to categorize INEC facilities as high-security facilities. In his remark, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, who was represented by Leke Abejide, said the investigation was informed by a motion brought before the House on the need to condemn the attacks on offices and facilities of the Independent National Electoral Commission.
We have 36 states, and 15 states are challenged. It is very easy, if they want to do this thing, to help INEC, to focus more attention on these critical areas. I believe those areas that we have 1 cases is something they can easily capture. But this Imo State, Osun State, Akwa Ibom, we need to look at this area critically. I'm talking directly to the security forces now, that there's a need to pay more attention and deploy military and the police and other forces to this area.
I think we are going to continue to approach it from the 2 angles of candidates as well as the political parties. In any case, some of the candidates are also chairmen of their political parties. So when you invite them, you're inviting both the institution and the candidate. The second one is, thank you for your contribution. You say that the security agents are overstretched. I have said so. And then I also appeal to communities and traditional and religious leaders and others to see INEC facilities as national assets, and they should all contribute towards protecting these facilities instead of leaving this to the security agencies alone.
Now, suspected thugs have attacked 2 female operatives of the Zamfara State Anti-Thuggery Committee with dangerous weapons, leaving them with various degrees of injuries at a political rally in the Gusau metropolis. The suspected political thugs defied the Zamfara state government's ban on carrying dangerous weapons during political campaigns in the state, a development that led to the assault. The 2 female personnel are presently receiving treatment at Yerima Bakura Specialist in Gusau. The commander of the Anti-Thuggery Committee, Bello Bakiaswa, said his operatives have succeeded in arresting 10 suspected political thugs who carried out the dastardly act, including a secretary of one of the local government areas of the state.
We are standing on existing law, Executive Order number 2 of Zamfara State, Law number 2, that gave us the mandate to fight any act of thuggery, armed thuggery, drug-related offences, and any other criminals related offense. On the course of our duty, today there was a 1 million man march in support of His Excellency Dr. Bello Matole Maragun, which was organized by Youth Organizing Committee of his campaign council. We have decided to monitor the rally to see if they have complied with the existing order of our committee.
And security agencies have been told to form a strong synergy in order to tackle security challenges in the country ahead of the 2023 general elections. The call is made during the 4th quarterly conference of State Directors of Security in the Northwest Zone, holding in Gusau, the Zamfara State capital, where a traditional ruler and chairman, Zamfara State Council of Traditional Rulers, observed the lack of synergy among security agencies is promoting the insecurity in the country. The report.
It was the 4th quarterly conference of State Directors of Security in the Northwest of Nigeria. It is to rub minds on how to combat the security challenges in the zone and the country at large. Issues of kidnapping, killing, animal rustling, imposition of illegal levies, presence of Boko Haram terrorists and Islamic State of West Africa Province, ISWAP, among others, dominated discussion. The State Directors of Security assured Nigerians that the service remains committed in its effort towards ensuring security of lives and property in the state.
Through deliberations and experience shared, to identify proper solutions to the common multifaceted security challenges bedeviling the Northwest region, which are unfolding in the form of kidnapping, animal rustling, armed robbery, senseless killing, sexual assault of women, imposition of illegal levy, destruction of unharvested crops, as well as political thuggery.
Chairman, Zamfara State Council of Chiefs, Attahiru Ahmed, wants the Nigerian Armed Forces to work together in carrying out operations which will help greatly in protecting the people from the terrorist attacks.
As far as I'm concerned, by virtue of my training, the banditry has been allowed to reach the level where it is. When it started, police could have handled it. But surprisingly, the district level, most of the bandit leaders used to be just surrender boys of bandit leaders. But everyone that is able to get even 2 AK-47 enough to be a bandit leader.
The Deputy Governor of Zamfara State, Senator Hassan Nasiha, commended the security agencies for their efforts to restore peace and security in the state, pledging the state government maximum support to enable them succeed to wipe out the terrorists.
Is to enable stakeholders to brainstorm on common security challenges and efforts of the member states in containing threats with a view to developing joint strategies for addressing the issue. I was so happy by the way and manner the Emir has said the issue of synergy and strategies are very important. So I'm sure this is one of the aims of this meeting today. I want to commend the organizer of this conference for holding this event in Zamfara State.
Zamfara State has been witnessing incessant attacks by the suspected terrorists, especially in rural communities. It is the expectation of residents that this conference will fashion out far-reaching recommendations which will help to bring an end to the security challenges in the Northwest Zone.
And gunmen have murdered the Labour Party Imo State House of Assembly candidate for Onyumo local government area, Christopher Alegu. The Imo State Police Command spokesman Mike Abatam said the incident happened in the early hours of Friday at Elegu's country home at the Umucheke community of Onyumo local government council. The assassins, he said, set his home ablaze after killing him and also burnt down his vehicle and other valuables. He said the Imo State Commissioner of Police, Muhammad Bardi, has ordered an investigation into the unfortunate incident and also activated all tactical units of the command to go after the assailants for possible arrest and apprehension. Now, the resumption of train services on the Abuja-Kaduna route last month was greeted with excitement and jubilation, but the recent crushing of a car owner to death is raising fears and safety concerns. In this report, Noel Sampson gets reactions after a recent accident on the train route.
The accident happened around Chikakore axis of Kuba in the Federal Capital Territory. One Selimota Idowu Suleiman that works with NTA was crushed to death inside her car by a moving train. According to eyewitness, the accident happened in the morning, which later resulted to the death of the victim a few minutes after the incident.
I was about leaving when we heard the train sound. When I heard the train sound, two cars were coming, two black cars were crossing the railway. So, and meanwhile, the horn wasn't too far from there. We say, the train is closed, and these two cars. The first one managed to pass, while the second one, the second black car was behind the first black car. Maybe she was thinking, if this one passed, I'll just follow her and pass. So, unluckily for her, she just hanged. She was magneted, the car was magneted, she couldn't move. She wanted to pull her seatbelt, and the seatbelt refused to pull off. She opened the car. Immediately she opened the car, the train carried her.
Members of the family of the victim and her friends declined comments on the incident, saying they are still in shock and not ready to speak to the camera. Some of the community members pleaded with the government to ensure safety of people along the route.
Very well. I think the government can do a short-term plan by putting up a barricade in the community before the rail track, so that such occurrences might not come up easily, because I think this is about the 5th or 6th time we've been seeing such bad and ugly incidents in the community. We don't have an overhead bridge here, as you can see, and the traffic coming out and in and out of this community has high risk. At most times you see cars breaking down on the rail track. As you can see, it's dangerous. People are just passing, going by. You see this railway as in busy road, busy railway road. Railway are going as in, if not for this stop, as there was a time there, as in railway business stopped. If not, here will be busy. How can you imagine road, car passing? It's dangerous. They should come as fast as possible. This is the second time this year. This is the second time this year. So government should try as much as possible. They should do this overhead bridge.
The railway authorities have not yet spoken on the incident. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The Arewa Consultative Forum has faulted the introduction of the cash withdrawal limits by the Central Bank of Nigeria. The Apex Bank recently announced a policy restricting individual cash withdrawals from commercial banks to 20,000 naira per day and 100,000 naira per week, or 500,000 naira in the case of corporate bodies. But reacting to the development, the Body Secretary General Murtala Aliyu warned that the insistence of the CBN on implementing the wholly unrealistic policy will lead to a catastrophic collapse of the informal sector of the economy. In a statement on Friday, he said this is considering the fact that transactions in commodity markets, particularly in rural areas, are entirely cash-based. The group also noted that Nigeria has the lowest financial penetration in Africa, where over 38 million adults do not have access to banking services, with women, rural dwellers, micro, small and medium-sized enterprises in and northern Nigeria being among the most disproportionately excluded. It, however, asked the CBN to allow a level playing field for a wide range of financial providers and encourage partnerships between them. Stay with us on Trust TV News Update. Still ahead. We'll tell you why it pays to park and pay. Details of this and more after the break. Stay with us.
documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us on Trust TV News Update. Now, another look at our top stories. INEC chairman says attacks on facilities must stop ahead of 2023 elections. And gunmen kill Imo Labour Party House of Assembly candidate. And moving on to other news now. A few months after floods ravaged many Nigerian communities, leading to huge loss of agricultural yield, many farmers were impacted by the floods and are still struggling to find their feet. But concerned stakeholders are touring many local affected by the disasters in a bid to create a seamless system for distributing farming equipment and utilize technology to communicate with farmers who are impacted by the flood, particularly in Adamawa State in the northeast and in Kano State in the northwest. The report.
Nigeria experienced the worst floods in recent years in 2022. Many people have been rendered homeless and are still trying to get back to normal, while a large number of farm crops were destroyed, impacting on what would have been a good harvest. The federal government had promised to guarantee food security for the entire country by funding dry season farming and introducing intervention programs that would help farmers get back to their feet. This particular intervention will start off by interacting with stakeholders and providing guidance to farmers who have been impacted by flooding.
Our members and some of the development partners are still counting and identifying people that have lost their farmlands and indeed their animals. We don't have precise figure, but as I've said earlier, that the damage is too much, is too big for a common farmer to bear. And that is why we have called for His Excellency the President to quickly intervene.
The main objective is to engage with local farmers and reassure them that doing business with the Nigerian government will be seamless.
We do what is right by identifying farmers that were affected and making sure that whoever that is identified and enrolled into our platform has benefited from this program. And we also want to leverage on technology to make sure that we do what is right. Every member should be identified, he will be enrolled in our database, he will be given a smart card whereby he can go and redeem input allocated to him at ease and at the time that he wanted. Most importantly, we are calling for beneficiaries to utilize this input, produce massively, so that at the end of the day, we can have food guarantee in this country.
Going forward, the goal would be to provide agricultural equipment at the ward level to 4 million flood victims in Nigeria.
Now, victims of the Thursday's tanker fire accident in Ibadan, Oyo State, which destroyed property worth millions of naira, have called on government at all levels to come to their aid. Residents of Apata, a sleepy town in the outskirts of Ibadan metropolis, are still in shock after a fuel-laden tanker skidded off the road and burst into flames, destroying everything on its path. Many traders had stockpiled their shops with goods in anticipation of bumper sales during the festive season when the incident occurred. Many of them are to come to terms with this surprising tragedy.
A good Nigeria, I shall know me, please. Oh my son, he don't burn no. I shall know me, the whole Oyo State, all Nigeria people. Please look at me, look at me. Now yesterday I come for market, I go buy market for this Odu. Please, I shall know me. Tori Allah, what you don't know? All my money, all my work since 25 years. All it does spoil
my shop, foam. Everything is lost yesterday. I beg you, make it. Tell governor, make it help us. I don't have anything now. Everything don't after finish yesterday. Please,
I was here yesterday when the tanker fell down. As the thing fell down, the fire just exploded. Everybody just ran away. And I just went to market to go and buy my goods, my Christmas goods. The goods thing just got born. It's more than 50 million. Let government, I don't even know where to start. I don't know where to start. Let government help us. Yeah? Everything, even the one I borrowed, and all the people that give me money, that give me goods, everything.
We came. My name is Honorable this Sunday. We came in this morning to sympathize with our mother, brothers, fathers that lost their property yesterday in the course of the fire that happened yesterday. And this is not the time for anybody to campaign or to rejoice. This is a bad incident, and we are not happy with it. We came and we have seen a lot of things that happened, the property that lost, but thank God that no life was lost, and that's the most very important thing.
Now, car owners in Abuja believe that the idea of park and pay in the federal capital can improve revenue earnings of the government by creating more parking spaces to avoid congestion on the roads. Kabir Lawal seeks the views of people on the impact of obtaining tickets before parking. His report.
Like every other country in the world, paid car parks give car owners a relaxed mind whenever they park their vehicles, especially for security reasons. In Abuja, however, car owners, especially the commercial vehicles, said it is a good idea but create traffic inconvenience within the parking premises.
When you park motor outside, you are causing more obstruction, and anything will happen, you are your own risk. It's not good. You have to come inside park and park so that your motor will be safe.
The car owners also added that if government can give more priority to the park, it will go a long way to attract more revenue.
Not good. That one is causing accident and the hold up everywhere, and the stealing of battery and the car, which is not good about that one. They should come inside the car park so that their motor will be safe.
Well, they should work on the parks, and anyone that want to park or want to use you should pay. You should pay and let them continue to be, taxing other people in order to make the place more safe and secure for citizens.
Ticket sellers at the park added that they sell more than 200 tickets or more on daily basis, enabling the park management to take care of the park.
Call on the federal government to create more places like this one, and it will even enable to create some revenue to the federal government. It will help to develop the country.
Parking outside is not the best. There's someone who will come from nowhere, hit your car, and you will not see the person. So it's better to park inside for your safety.
Although the idea of park and pay had wide acceptance, many find it difficult to pay and park. Kabir Lawal, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now for a look at the foreign scene, where the death toll in the Democratic Republic of Congo continues to rise following heavy rain and extreme flooding that have ravaged the country in recent days. The United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs and officials said on Friday that at least 169 people have died as a result of destructive rains in the capital, Kinshasa. The flooding left another 30 people injured and pulverized an estimated 280 homes across the capital of some 15 million people, in which approximately 38 residents have been affected. Officials said the city's Mount Ngafula and Ngaliema districts were the hardest hit by the downpours. An estimated 8.2 million people in at least 20 different nations in West and Central Africa have been affected by rains in recent weeks. On Friday, the UN estimated that 2.9 million people had been displaced and more than 500,000 homes destroyed. Located on the Congo River, Kinshasa has a huge population influx in recent years, and many dwellings are shanty houses built on the flood-prone slopes of the city that suffers from inadequate drainage and sewer systems. And for a quick look at sports now, Croatia will face Morocco in the third-place playoff match at the Khalifa International Stadium. Morocco will aim to become the first African country to get third place in the history of the World Cup tournament, while Croatia will look to end their campaign on a high with a win in the match. Both teams had an incredible run in the tournament before getting defeated in the semi-finals. Morocco and Croatia were in Group F, where the African nation had topped the group and Croatia had taken second place. In the semi-final, Morocco lost to France, while Croatia's run was ended by Argentina. And that wraps up Trust TV News Update for this hour. For more news, you can subscribe to watch us live on YouTube and follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Thanks for watching.